What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 5th day of September, and here we are sitting at about $110.7 thousand. Man, I swear, just an hour ago we were all the way up at like 113. A little bit of a fake out today. That is not a pretty picture on the daily time frame. And do remember, for the past few days we have been saying that even if we move up to like 114k or above 113k, that doesn't mean that we're out of the woods yet, right? We're still finding resistance here um, at this area of support, prior area of support. We're probably going to go lower. And I actually want to see, did we hit the 382? Did we finally hit the 382 with that move today? Let's see. High to low. We tipped it. We tipped it perfectly. We literally, it's perfect. So yeah, typically whenever you get that kind of reaction, I mean, especially this kind of reaction, you would expect to go lower. Basing it off of this fib extension, these targets will be even lower now, low to high, 105.6k, where before I want to say it's like 106k or 105.9k. Now it's down to 103.6k, where it was like 104.8k. So a little bit lower, 103.6, 105.6, somewhere in that area is probably where we're gonna go. Definitely had the markets faked out on this one. I think I was asleep for this. I literally just woke up to see this happen, and I still would have been bearish even if we were at the top. I still would have been bearish until we get to, again, the way to prove this wrong. I had somebody asking this in one of my comments. They were saying, at what point do you wave the white flag, or like at what point do you concede to the bulls? And I think it's at 117. Sorry, 117.5k. That would be where I concede. If we start closing days above 113.4 or 5k in a row, like multiple days in a row, maybe. But really, 117.5k closing above there is what it would take. Hold on, I got a phone call coming in. Let's see if it's a scam. Hello? Yeah, it's a scam. Yep, it's a scam. You never know. You never know. But I'm actually expecting a call from a number that I don't normally get. So scammers are getting lucky with me answering these calls, man. It's annoying, but trying to get some stuff done. Anyways, 110.7k right now. Enough about me. Can you guys hear me still? Did I? Okay, good. Yeah, mic's back on. Let's look at the short term stuff. Let's go over that real quick. And again, and on the other, I was going to talk about something else. On the flip side to this question, right? Someone was asking, at what point do I concede to the bulls and say we're going up higher? 107.8k. Really, even just below the golden ratio here, if we can close above this high, I think that would be fine. 116.9k. But somebody was also asking me, what would it take for me to concede to the bears and say that this is the bear market? And really, what it would take for me, I suppose, what would it take? Let's go on a monthly time frame. Let's get real serious here. To say that this is a bear market, I would want to see us close below 100 and what is that right there on that monthly close? Close below 102.5k on a monthly time frame. If we do that, then we're in a bear market. If we close below that number, $102.5 thousand, $0.4 thousand, if we do that 2 weeks in a row, I would concede that we're now in a bear market. Okay. If we get below there and then we come back up, we're not in a bear market. If we close 2 weeks below there, we are in a bear market. That's what it would take. 2 weeks or 1 month closing time frame below 102.4k. That's what would do it. Oh man, I gotta sneeze. And then one more thing before we get into the short term stuff, just so everybody's on the same page here, and even for future references, right? I was watching this guy on X.com talk about how we've got our first higher high since the all time high, and I was just like, dude, that's not true. That is not a higher high. You think what, because we're above this high, right? Is this a higher high because it's above this high? Like that's not how it works, right? That's that is not a higher high. Higher high would be up here. It would have to be, right? Discernible high, right? It'd be like saying this high was a higher high versus these highs, or this high was a higher high versus this high or this high. It's not. It's not. It has to be a discernible high, and this is a discernible high here. Maybe here, maybe, but I would say if it's a maybe, it's not. It has to be a definite. Like there's no arguing that was a lower high, and they're all lower highs at the end of the day. But I'm getting distracted here. Looking at this here on the 4 hour time frame, we're definitely moving down. I want to get this on the Binance chart because I don't trust the volume on the index. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, it's taking its sweet time to load. You know, in moments like this, I like to talk about the true secrets of technical analysis, the things that nobody talks about, the things that you normally have to pay for. Things such as, you see, normally it would load by now, and then I normally time it pretty well, but I didn't time it well there. Um, no, I got nothing for you guys. Maybe stick around and we'll see. $110.5 thousand right now. There is a lot of volume coming in, even on the Binance chart right here. Let's see. A little bit of bearish divergence, rejecting the overbought zone. Definitely not a good look. The orange line, see the blue line, whenever it finds support, that's nice. Whenever it finds resistance, that's not nice. But the orange line, that's serious. Whenever that one finds resistance to the overbought zone, that definitely means business. And then here we do have bearish divergence on the MACD as well, with the histogram and the oscillator. So yeah, you definitely look like you want to go lower. 1 hour time frame bearish divergence, yeah, on all accounts. Yep, you look like you want to go lower, man. So here we are in that final kind of moment, that final crash. I don't think that it's going to be fast. Like we've moved down fast from 113K to here, 110.5K, but I don't think it's going to be fast down to this 105 to $103,000 level. But let's look at the liquidation levels and just see what we're dealing with here. Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. A lot more shorts than longs. That probably just flipped, right? Probably. A lot of longs get cleared out, about $2 billion at $108,000. Got to imagine a lot of these are probably underwater as of now. I wouldn't be surprised. We could go to $108,000 between today and tomorrow. Maybe even by the end of today. It could happen. 104. Something below 104 would clear out all those longs. Yeah. I stand by it, man. I think we have our high definitively now. Definitely now. Low to high here. 105.6 to 103.6K. That's where we're going to go. We'll find support somewhere in that area. Maybe we find support right in between. That doesn't mean that we go to either of those targets. That means we could go to either of those targets or somewhere in between. And maybe even a little bit through 103.6K, which is fine if we do that as well. But things are definitely taking a little bit of a bearish turn. I stand by what I've been saying over the past few days too, since we've identified this in the RSIs. You know, you're not really, right, maybe I should circle this area. You're not really finding support in this area the same way that you found support before in this area, right? You draw a straight line back here, all these areas of support, even this one back here, you move up immediately. Here you're meandering. That makes me think that there's something different going on. We're probably going to get to the oversold zone, right? And at the rate that we drop, that we like to drop, it seems, you know, that might happen sometime next week. I would expect that we do find resolution either before or on the days of the FOMC meeting, the Federal Reserve meeting that's going to announce that they're doing rate cuts for the interest rates. We will probably drop going into that, and maybe sometime next week we find support, and then we're just kind of meandering, and then we get a higher low or something on that meeting day, and then we continue to rally, or we continue to drop going into that meeting. But I don't think that we'll be below 100K. I think that we will hold above $100,000. Maybe we go below $103,000, but I'm thinking 103.6 to 105.6 right now. That's the estimation. So I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I very much do believe that Bitcoin is still in a bull market. We'll start to get excited once we're above this high. Okay. First off, you'd be getting a higher high. Second off, you'd be above a rather critical moment where we were finding support for a long time here. Getting back above that, I mean, when we got above that here, we took off. We do that again, I think we're going to take off. And our next target area is somewhere around, you know, like $140,000. Let's see, high to low. 130 to 136.4. I wouldn't be surprised if we went all the way up to 140 in a very short amount of time. Maybe by the end of this month we're up there. I wouldn't be surprised at all, actually, if it was by the end of this month. We got to imagine that we're coming down, right? And then into the 16th, 17th, whatever. And then moving up. I could see it happening. It could definitely happen, man. I think this next move up is going to be more robust than the last one was. It's going to be one of the biggest moves, if not the biggest move of the cycle so far is coming. We just got to shake out all these longs before it happens, man. I was looking at a chart where they were talking about how many, they were illustrating how many public entities have bought Bitcoin, or how much Bitcoin public entities have bought versus how many Bitcoins were produced. You know, something like 250,000 Bitcoins have been bought this year, where it was it 50,000 or 80,000 Bitcoins have been produced, something like that. So the supply shock is coming. There's no doubt in my mind that we're still in a bull market, but we do have a little bit lower to go. Anyways, I'm just talking at this point, so I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care. Bye bye.